Welcome to Monster Antenna's Evil Video. This is the show where we review whatever we're watching, and we just finished the first season of Fargo. I am here with Kara.
Hey.
Tell me what you thought.
I thought it was good. Since it's based off of a real-life story, I thought it was more interesting than a written story.
It's ridiculous.
The fact that it actually happens.
Yeah, it's the fact that it's all real, and it's as plot-twisting as possibly can be. And what did you think of the acting?
I thought the acting was great. I thought they incorporated comedy really nicely also.
Some big name actors in that.
I know, and you don't normally see big name actors that die.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All the time people were dying in this show. You never know what was going to happen.
So,
like that.
I'll say this is spoilery, so I'll let you guys know. So from here on out, just be careful. What was your favorite parts?
My favorite parts? I liked the last episode. Yeah. I also liked the episode, I believe it was 8, where they just skipped to a year later. This entire time, it's like you've watched 8 to 10 hours already of this show, and then they just skip to a year later.
Actually, I think that's just the last episode.
No, it's not.
It's
I
not?
don't think so. I think it's at least 2 episodes.
Huh.
Yeah. But either way, even if it was just the last episode, I really liked that aspect of it. Like the whole fact that everything was just fine for a year. This all happened. Then it settled down. And then this big fucking shebang happens at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I like that our quote-unquote bad guy didn't even really feel like he was a bad guy.
Oh, but by the end...
just got obliterated.
He's a fucking... I mean, this guy's a terrorist.
Yeah.
This guy is a legitimate terrorist. And even though the 22 people he killed in Fargo were of a crime syndicate, he's still considered a terrorist, I would say. Because he shows up and just kills.
Yeah, and how he just messes with people. It seemed like he genuinely got enjoyment from putting people on the killer path. Like he would convince people to kill somebody, or that was the right option for them, that there weren't exactly rules, as he said to our main character, and that it was just kind of an illusion. Then they do it, and then he just leaves them high and dry. There was really no motive behind that other than his own pure menacing enjoyment. Mm-hmm. I liked that, because that's something that could really happen. The guy's just like, well, I saw this happen, I'm going to mess with these affairs, I'll be back in a couple days, I told you.
Yeah, I agree.
And I also like that it came back to bite him. You know, he's on that... Mm-hmm. He's working that guy. He almost gets where he wants to go, and because of what he did to Lester, Lester kind of fucks it up on accident for him.
Mm-hmm.
Which, of course, then he wants to, butt fuck Lester.
The funny thing, though, is when Lester hits him and he goes, "Oh shit, Lester."
Right?
First off, great fucking line, because that had us both on the floor laughing. But also, that also is kind of a nudge that, like, he never expected Lester to turn against him, ever. I don't think. I think there came a point where, like, he respected Lester, and so, I mean, he needed a way out in the hospital in the first episode, right?
Yeah.
And so he talks to Lester. But by the end, he helps Lester get away with his wife's murder, and the chief's murder. He helps him get through a good majority of things, and he's the catalyst for the reason Lester is who he is by the end of the show. And if Lester had never said anything to him, especially if Lester didn't say yes to him in the elevator, he would not be where he is.
I wonder what he would have done, though, if Lester had said, "No, I don't want this." Would he have just walked away? Because then the people would have obviously known they knew each other.
Mm-hmm.
There would have been a connection between him and Lester, between 3 stupid-ass people, if anybody had thought to question them. Would he still have killed those people?
I don't think they would have questioned it after that. I think that where... Oh,
I mean, I guess he was going to kill the brother
Lauren
the
Malvo?
next day
Is
anyway.
that it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think where Lauren Malvo was in that group, in the elevator, I don't think they would have questioned if he said no and just left. I don't think they would have said anything. They had a couple drinks. They were all drunk.
Yeah.
But he fucking said yes.
And what are the odds in this real life story that a year later he just sees this guy in a fucking bar. Or in Vegas.
That's the scary part. Is he just showed up. He just fucking popped out of nowhere.
And the fact that Lester was stupid enough to approach him. And he was so friendly about it, too. He was like, hey.
No, that the problem with Lester is Lester became... He thought he was everything. So Lester had the balls to walk up to him now. But not realizing that the guy who put him on this path is a lot more powerful than he is.
Yeah, he did get kind of a big head. More than kind of a big head. I mean, first off, everything that happened in the beginning, they questioned him, but he got away with it. And then he restarted it. First off, he sent his second wife in, who dies. That obviously is going to draw suspicion. If you have 2 wives get murdered, even if it 100% wasn't you, people are still going to look at you.
Mm-hmm.
That was a stupid decision. I know he should have just left. I mean, if he wasn't going to get to go to Mexico anyway...
Or Acapulco, yeah.
Which is in Mexico.
Yeah.
He should have just left with her and gone someplace else. Or gone and stayed somewhere else. The guy still could have followed him, but then the wife would be alive. There would be less suspicion on Lester. He just would have left town.
Mm-hmm.
Which wasn't a very non-Lester thing to do when he was being questioned. He kind of just left town all the time.
But think, as far as thinking on the spot goes, Lester didn't do bad at all.
He didn't do bad, especially when Lauren got to his house. Because he set the bear trap. That was pretty clever.
The guy is not, top of his game fighter or, trying to get out of trouble. The first time he got in trouble was when he killed his fucking wife. Kind of went to, the bottom of the barrel there. So at that point, Lester, by the end, it's pretty impressive how far he got. But the symbolism of him falling through the ice. I mean, the guy was on thin ice the entirety of the show. And he was just barely ahead. I mean, if they had listened, and I don't remember her name, the cop, if they had listened to her, then that thin ice that he had been on the entirety of the show, he would have broke through early.
It was Vern's death that really ended that. If Vern hadn't died, he was a good police chief. Everything probably would have been dramatic, but it would have been solved.
Mm-hmm.
Lauren probably would have gotten away because that's what he does. Lester would have ended up in jail. He never would have had a chance to fuck up his brother's life. But Vern died, and then no one believed Deputy something. The deputy.
Yeah.
And
I don't remember her name.
I liked that the new chief gave it up at the end and was like, I'm an idiot.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a good turnaround there.
Because not a lot of people in real life would have done that. They would have been like, well, it's my job.
I like that they didn't make him the villain, per se. He was
just kind of a bumbling small-town guy.
He's ignorant. He's flat-out ignorant.
And he reacted, I think the actor did a good job. He reacted like a normal person, would. If you're like, no, you're wrong, and they're your higher up, they'd be flustered. They'd be like, okay,
well, the guy who
think that, but you have to listen to me.
The guy who played Bill is... Everything he's in... He's been phenomenal. He was in The Office. He was in Breaking Bad. He was Better Call Saul. He was Saul, actually, in Better Call Saul. Everything that he's in, I always find something that I enjoy about him. Even if I don't like his character.
He's good.
Well, yeah. Is there anything you didn't like about the show? Or the first season, I would say?
No. Normally with these kind of shows, the episodes feel too long. Each episode was an hour to an hour and a half. I didn't feel that way with this one. I don't have any complaints.
Yeah, we felt excited every time we were going to watch it.
I feel like I would be more willing to pick it apart if it wasn't something that really happened, but what can you do? This really happened. That's just how it is.
Mm-hmm. And then we're going to move on to the second season, and we'll do an evil video about that, too.
Yes, if you're interested in Fargo.
Yeah, if you're interested in Fargo, keep up with us, and hopefully we'll get to the 4th season if you guys still want to keep watching this. Remember to like and subscribe. This has been Kara and Dante of Monster Antenna doing an evil video.